Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Pocahontas. And the reason why I want to talk about Pocahontas is because there's been some injustice done to this real life character who has become a historical pulp culture figure, and also has become a Disney culture figure character with the release of Disney's Pocahontas. But the problem is that what I've been noticing, and I don't know, I'm going to just theorize a little bit, but what I've been noticing is, if you go to the parks or if you look at anything Disney related or whatever, she is the least marketable Disney princess for some reason, which is kind of funny because if you guys know the history, you know that Disney put a lot of time and effort into Pocahontas, and basically put the B team on Lion King. So while they were working on Pocahontas, they was working on Lion King, and it's always a funny story that Disney really wanted this movie to do well, and I believe it did moderately well. The soundtrack is wonderful, the animation is beautiful, and I believe they said it was like over 50 animators just to do her hair, which that hair is beautiful. I love every scene when that hair blows. Oh, it's fantastic. And I understand the character, Disney's Pocahontas is different than her real life counterpart. And I get that. I really get that. It's the same thing with Anastasia. But I just kind of find it weird that Disney and Hollywood entertainment and all of these people that always want to talk about representation and diversity or whatever, you have this one diverse Disney princess that barely gets any mention. She is not even there in the parks. I haven't seen her at the parks in such a long time. Maybe it's because her schedule's different or something like that, but I barely see her. Like the last time I seen Pocahontas was in Wreck-It Ralph 2 Breaks the Internet, which was a horrible goddamn movie. But anyway, that was literally the last time I've seen her. And it's just so weird. It's weird that this Disney princess doesn't get enough doesn't get the attention like the rest of them. Like, Lord, I just had a brain fart for a second. I'm sorry, guys. Like, I don't understand. You have this beautiful um Disney princess who is in tune with nature, who seems to kind of control wind at any given with the power of her mother spirit. And it's weird. And she's one of the Disney princesses that has two love interests. First one was John Smith, and then her eventual husband, John Rolfe. Which, again, that's another thing, Disney. You guys keep promoting Pocahontas with John Smith when her official husband is John Rolfe. Like, be a little bit more respectful. It's already bad enough you kind of de-aged John Smith and kind of aged up Pocahontas to make this love story, a little bit more, appetizing for people to swallow. But come on now, you need to do a little bit more with Pocahontas, and you need to do a little bit more with her husband, John Rolfe. Let's see some adventures or something. Give me a little mini TV series. Give me another movie. Like, y'all, you guys already went far ahead of far away from the original story. So let's do something. But she needs to be there, and I don't know. Maybe there needs to be some kind of resurgence. She wasn't even good enough to even be in Once Upon a Time. Every Disney princess showed up except for Pocahontas. Make that make sense? And we had two versions of Rapunzel and two versions of Cinderella. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, because it just doesn't make sense. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, well, because of the whole Native American thing, we don't want to be offensive to Native Americans or whatever and stuff like that. Well, from what it was heard, I think when Disney did the movie, I believe they talked to some Indian tribes to try to stay as faithful to the character and as try to be as respectful. They knew they were going to change the characters, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just feel like the Pocahontas that Disney is making. And Lord knows I don't like defending Disney a lot, but the intent that Disney was trying to do with with Pocahontas was literally trying to show the first American princess, actual Native American who, by truth, she was considered an American princess when she went over to London, and they literally, called her an American princess because she was a Native American. She was the daughter of a chief, and the chief is king of these tribes that are here in America. So technically, yeah, she is the first American princess. Officially through the records of books or whatever. So it's just kind of funny that we have this beautiful movie, and then we have this subpar, second movie that a lot of people didn't even watch because that animation was trash. I mean, Disney, if you were going to try to do something, that is, it's kind of one of those things like, it's time to, when you had these sequels, you shouldn't have cheaped out on the animation. I mean, I'm not saying the animation has to look as better as the first one, but it needs to look subpar. That was the problem with a lot of the Disney sequel stuff. It's like once you get to the first movie and then the second movie looks like y'all didn't put no care and effort into it. And when I watched the movie, it felt like you didn't put no care into it. Like you didn't know what you wanted to do with the character. And I'm not saying that you couldn't, but you could have did something. Y'all could have did something. I don't know. I mean, of course, it's a princess that has to kind of deal with the division of settlers and dealing with the Native American people and having a culture clash. That could be really cool because she is a princess and then married to a wealthy gentleman, which is John Rolfe. And that could be something that they can have to figure out, like as the new kind of king and queen of the tribes and the settlements. They are looked to for leadership because they are the ones that are best of both worlds, if that makes sense. Like, John Rolfe is from the settlement age and Pocahontas is from the Native American age, and they fell in love and got married and started a family. So now you have to kind of deal with that kind of stuff. Or you can even do a movie about, them having their son. You know what I'm saying? I forgot that darn child's name. I am not even gonna sit here and lie, and I don't feel like looking it up. But if you do a movie kind of like where you focus on the kid, sort of like he's kind of, because he's part of both worlds, but both his tribe and the settlers don't see him as either or. So you can kind of do one of those kind of things and kind of teach a lesson about acceptance or something like that. I know you don't want to get too controversial or political, but sometimes you're going to, especially with a story like this. But I just feel like we need to do something, or put her in little specials where she goes off to gather maple from this sacred tree that Grandmother Willow told her about, and John Rolfe has to watch over the villagers and some of the people in Jamestown who got sick from it. And it's up to Pocahontas, along with her sidekicks and maybe the son at the time, and she can teach him about nature and stuff like that. And it's a race against time to get back over there or something like that. Do something. Give me something. But y'all got to do something, because this is not the business, to be honest. I am not impressed with the mistreatment of this Disney princess, because I just feel like she's a interesting character, to be honest. And even with the real life tragedy of Pocahontas, the fact that you have this character and you kind of don't do anything with her, you don't promote her or anything, and yet you have two bitches, Anna and Elsa, who aren't even Disney princesses, that are like kind of taking her spot in the little thing. Like when you go to Disney Worlds or any kind of Disney theme or whatever, people dressing up or whatever, they never talk about Pocahontas. Like, are we that sanitized to not trying to hurt anybody's feelings that we can't look past the beauty that is the movie? You know what I'm saying? I know they're romanticizing certain things or whatever, but this is one of those things where, as a movie that is inspired by it and never said it was based off of true events, I think you can do some leeway. I think you can do some leeway because it is supposed to be an American fairy tale. If you really think about it, they use Pocahontas to create an American fairy tale. I don't know, or maybe they can try again with another another Indian character. I mean, Indian Native American princess character. Maybe they can come up with their own, or talk to some Native Americans and maybe do another one. But y'all need to do something because Pocahontas not being able to be Pocahontas and not being promoted as Pocahontas is just weird, to be honest. But those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think. Comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.